Now, this is the initial report from J. Winiarski on 12/2/2022. Now, I'm going to read this for you. You guys can pause it and read it for yourself if you'd like. On 12/2/2022 at around 10:16 hours, I, Deputy Winiarski, report that I was a victim of assault at the Greensboro Courthouse located at 201 South Eugene Street, Greensboro, North Carolina. Gerald Wong assaulted Deputy Winiarski by striking him in the chest with open hand. Gerald Wong was charged with second-degree trespass, resist, delay, obstruct, and assault on a government official. Now, all those charges, of course, were dismissed. On 12/2/2022 at around 10:16 hours, I, Deputy Winiarski, was on duty on the plaza level. Excuse me, my screen went away. Was on duty at the plaza level at the Greensboro Courthouse. While conducting my duty, an individual was raising his voice to security because they would not allow him inside with a recording device. He was later identified as Gerald Wong of North Carolina. When I approached the scene, I was advised by security he had thrown his bin of personal belongings on the floor. No, I hadn't. I just threw my recorder on the floor. Anyway, Mr. Wong was then asked to leave the premises. No, I was told I could not enter past the security gate. I told Mr. Wong, let's go, you need to leave. No, he slapped my hand and said, "You're out of here," or something to that effect. And he replied, "I'm not leaving, I have court." No, I did not say that to him. I said that to the security personnel. I then used my hands to guide Mr. Wong outside of the door, and he kept shrugging away and telling me not to touch him. Yes, I did, because he kept touching me. Outside of the courthouse door, I advised Mr. Wong he needed to give me his identification because he was being trespassed. No, he didn't say that. He said, "Just give me your identification." He refused to identify himself and was carrying a bin belonging to Guilford County. I reached in the bin to get his identification in attempt to detain him, which is unlawful search and seizure. These are my belongings in that bin right then. Mr. Wong then assaulted me in my chest by pushing me with both hands against my chest, making me step backwards. Now, if you're looking at the video, how am I to push him with both hands when I'm holding my tray at waist height? Okay? I then advised him he was under arrest. He resisted when Deputy Jenkins and I attempted to put his hands behind his back by stretching his arms away from his back and making his body posture wider to gain balance. I mean, did you guys see any of this? How do I stretch my arms out when I'm holding my tray? Mr. Wong was then assisted to the ground, thrown, where he was handcuffed. On 12/2/20, I think they got this wrong. On 2/12/12, at around 10:16 hours, Mr. Wong was arrested and charged with second-degree trespassing, resist, delay, obstruct, assault on a government official. Mr. Wong was escorted by Guilford County EMS to Moses Cone Hospital, located at 1121 North Church Street in Greensboro, North Carolina. He was treated for an abrasion to his left hand and right knee. Mr. Wong was observed with warrants by Deputy, try and pronounce that, Fioravanti on 2/12/2022 2022, so a few years have passed since I was arrested there. At around 1830 hours. He was then given a written promise to appear and given a court date of 1/2/2023 at the Greensboro Courthouse, room 1B. Now, I was, if you read this, they in the sheriff attorney's letter to the court, he said I was only in custody for an hour. To me, it looks like I was in custody for probably around 8 hours, if you count 10-16 hours to 18-30 hours, okay? So that's where that stands. Now let's look at Deputy Jenkins' report. Now, he originally was dismissed from my lawsuit because there's some law stating that an officer coming to the assistance of another officer cannot be held to the same standards as the original arresting officer. But here's the problem. Let's read this. On Friday, 12/2/2022, at approximately 9:55 hours, I responded to assist Deputy Winiarski on the plaza level lobby, the Greensboro Courthouse, with the subject who was refusing to leave. I had not refused to leave. I was leaving. I was outside the courthouse by the time he got there. Upon arrival, Deputy Winiarski was repeatedly giving instructions to the male subject to leave. No, he wanted my ID. I was trying to leave. After making my way through the rope barricades, I walked through the door at the entrance. I observed Deputy Winiarski requesting identification from the subject numerous times. No, he asked for it one time, at which time I told him I didn't have to give it to him. The subject refused to provide identification. And another thing, Jenkins was on scene for 6 seconds out the door and in that area with me and Winiarski for about 6 seconds, as the judge, the federal judge, had indicated in his original dissertation of the video. Deputy Winiarski reached into the plastic basket to get his identification. Once again, this was an unlawful search and seizure. It began at this time, the subject shoved Winiarski in his chest area. Okay. I told the subject that he was under arrest. I told the subject that he was under arrest. Therefore, he is the initiating officer putting me under arrest, which means he is not coming to the assistance of Winiarski to arrest me. He is effecting the arrest. Okay? And he immediately began resisting arrest by struggling, pulling away, and refusing to place his hands behind his back. And if you watch the video, none of that happened. I told Deputy Winiarski to take the subject to the ground. He didn't say any such thing. They both just threw me to the ground. There was nothing said. If you would believe this, the 6 seconds he was on scene, he had all this time to carry out this discussion. Okay? While holding on to one of his arms, I placed my knee in front of his, which allowed us to take him to the ground. At this point, I straddled his back. Yes, he did. While the subject was continuing to struggle. Yeah, I was struggling while laying flat on my chest on the ground. Yep. I was able to get the handcuffs on his left wrist, and then I was able to complete cuffing him with his right wrist. Okay, so here you have the two stories, and neither of them match up with the actual video. So what I am saying, I'm writing to our DA, Ms. Crump, and telling her that a crime was committed against me. Compare these two reports to the video, and you will see that there was a crime, not only the crime of a false arrest, but two officers colluding to make up charges to file on me for the arrest and the prosecution. Okay? So I just wanted to bring an update to you. I am waiting for Judge Auld right now, the federal judge, to see if he'll let me reinstate the sheriff and the deputy Jenkins in my lawsuit. This could take quite a while to have this done, and whenever something new comes up, I'll come back and let you guys know what happened. But until then, au revoir, take care, and subscribe here if you would like to be kept up on what was going on. Now, just remember, we have a win. We have a win. I beat out a real large law firm representing Winiarski in a pro se, a truck driver of 30 years, beat this prestigious law firm and got a settlement out of them. And Winiarski was denied qualified immunity. I wrote to, like I told you, our district attorney, Avery Crump, about the crime committed against me. And she says that the criminal charges are appropriate when it appears that there is both probable cause to believe that a crime has been committed. I showed that in the video compared to their initial incident reports. And when it appears that the evidence of the crime is sufficiently strong. Well, what is better than in-your-face evidence? To afford the state some reasonable prospect of obtaining a conviction at trial, whether it be a jury of 12 or a judge sitting as the jury of 12. In these circumstances, based on the evidence that I have viewed and the actions of yourself, like in the video where I cuss out the security people and the officer, has nothing to do with the false arrest. Those charges were dismissed, all those charges. And Avery Crump, Ms. Crump, is overlooking the fact that in the initial arrest reports, they lied. The two officers lied and they colluded, and they had no problem filing charges with me, against me, putting me in the hospital, having me go to jail, getting me fingerprinted, photographed, and booked. These officers had no problem with that. But Ms. Crump here seems to think that's okay. I don't know if I can get a conviction with their initial report saying that all this stuff happened when the video doesn't show it happening. So, former Deputy Winiarski and Deputy S. Jenkins, I will not recommend filing any criminal charges against either of these people. So this is my district attorney that I voted for and I promoted. I voted for her and I promoted her and I recommended her when I was running for the U.S. Congress. You think I'm going to do it again? Well, I don't know. Anyway, guys, I'm sorry. I just wanted to add this. You guys have a great day. Stay updated. Like and subscribe, and I'll keep